Tryna figure out my next move. At the same time, make sure it's my best move. I know she wanna fuck with me because I dress cool, but all I'm tryna do is collect loot. Tryna figure out my next move. At the same time, make sure it's my best move. I know she wanna fuck with me because I dress cool, but all I'm tryna do is collect loot and stack blues, yeah. I talked to God, he said I'm next up. So in the meantime, I'ma get my checks up. I know these niggas out here wanna wreck us, but they ain't got no choice but to respect us. Baby don't even much know me, but think I'm special. From the way she stepped down, she got potential. Stacking loot and getting paid is always on my mental. I'm G'd up, baby, check my credentials. Max Julian, nigga, who you smoother than? I'm a Mac, I can step down on the bougie bitch. Where the bag? I can't fuck with her if I can't use the bitch. Niggas mad cause I came up, but now I'm used to it. Keep that burner next to me, I'm not afraid of using it. I won't let my people lose a G over some goofy shit. So I move how I move and do what I do, cause at the end of the day, it's all about loot, figure out my next move. At the same time,
man, you like Don Cheadle.
I think he said Don Cheadle.
Yeah, no, at first minute. Yeah.
So I was gonna say the Don Cheadle on Boogie Nights. The cowboy porn star.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Yeah, man, go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Okay, so
This is gonna be part
Babylon.
two.
So Babylon
Welcome
was
back.
the.
We are here with part 2 of the Iceberg Shrimp and Big Time Q come through, drop down some game on some of this stuff. So pay attention.
So Babylon was the first world power, right? Then Medo-Persia, right? You see Persia represented in the movie 300, right? Then Rome, right? And after Rome, right, that's when you see the Catholic Church take off, right? That was the split from Catholic Church and the Bible as you see it right now. So that's where you get your Baptists, Protestants, whatever denomination you want to call it, right? But overall, the Pope is over top, right? That's why you see world leaders. You see your president, he goes and kisses the Pope's ring.
Oh yeah, got to.
Right? So again, we back to how do you kick a bully's ass? I'm talking about a real bully, not the Debo walking down the street. Okay, so we're gonna call America the bully, right? So look at the situation that you're in right now, right? We've already denoted, right, what we did in World War II. We've already denoted what we did in World War I to all the different countries of the world. You already understand our geopolitical pressures that we put on the countries in South America, right? Africa, right? And how we can hold them back from really achieving what it is that they actually have.
Hold them back by putting taxes on the shit that they want from us?
Or by just raiding their countries and making them piss poor, right? The people, right? The people at the
their
top.
Country.
Raiding their countries and keeping them piss poor, right? You see.
Have you ever, so you know West Africa, the country Liberia.
Right.
You know they've been having a civil war.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, and granted, we might go, we plugged in with the gold
West
and
Africa.
all that, but we ain't got shit over there to be caring about Africa.
We care about the diamonds that they have. We care about the gold that they have, and most importantly, we care about the oil. That's why we went. That's why we went and tried to fuck Saddam
Do we
up.
have that was sort of Saddam. But do we have any military base in Nigeria?
I would say yes, right? Close enough, right? You saw it in the Iraqi war, right? You saw it when we dealt with the Taliban, right? So like countries like say like Italy, Turkey, things of that nature, we'll have the Air Force bases there, right? So we're close enough where we can fuck a motherfucker up, right?
Anywhere that the Navy, the military has been, there is a base there.
At least.
They never leave. Once they pull up, they stay. So
Right.
there's a base there.
Okay, so I get the bully. So how are they supposed to kick our ass?
Okay then, so here we go, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed you,
How you want to do this?
cut all that shit off, line the beard up.
Bald head?
Do me a temp.
Low temp?
Yes, sir, please. And let's try to do something with this on the face. So the first thing I got to do is I got to feed you disinformation. I got to get the people confused, right? So the disinformation is going to be the common black dude versus the common white dude, right? Most white people that you run into on your daily basis are not racist, right? They don't even give a fuck about what you're talking about. They just living life the same way you're living life, right? But I got to keep that in play. How do I keep that in play? One, I put the police in a position of, right, they're gonna be constantly policing the neighborhood. You saw that coming through how we got to this point from the Vietnam War, where my father, his father, right, we introduced the drugs, right? That was the first generation of niggas that was on drugs, right? Then you get the cocaine epidemic in the 80s, right? Now I can pull you niggas out of here, right? You had in the 60s, out of the women's suffrage, civil rights movement, right? The first thing they gave so-called black people was welfare, right? So now I done introduced the crack. I done put your woman in a position where she don't really need you because she can live off the state, right? But I gotta let that kick in first.
Okay, well let me ask you this.
Go.
I can understand that. Niggas say niggas ain't Smith & Wesson, niggas ain't got a poppy field seed, but that don't mean sell it.
Right.
Just because you don't make a gun don't mean shoot a nigga. 'Cause
Right.
you got a gun.
Right. But I gotta put you in a position of dire straits where you feel like that's the only way out, right?
Yeah,
so you have
suffocate your resources.
right. So most black people, not yourself, right? But the general black person thinks the only way out of the hood is doing what?
Hooping, rapping,
Right.
entertaining these white folks.
Right. The black man is the most, you are as a entity, right? You are the most profitable motherfucker on the face of the earth, right? Because there's 3 ways that I can make money off of you, right? I can throw you in prison. I'm gonna still make money off of you. You can be an entertainer. I'm gonna still make money off of you. And you're strong enough that I can put you in any military situation and you're gonna come out on top, right? So now I got you, right? So, but I gotta let the crack epidemic, I gotta let breaking down of the Black Panther organization into gangs, right? That allows for that split,
Vulnerability.
right?
Just
Because
like
now
breaking
it's a
up
split,
the split and the vulnerable and the family. The
Right.
welfare reform, man.
right?
Can I ask you this? Because I understand what you're saying. Like, that's American.
Right,
And I agree with all that.
right,
Now, when you say the black man can do the 3 ways,
right.
that's why I come in.
Okay,
Now, the world is way bigger than America.
correct.
So this could happen to anybody. The thing is, I'm saying is a nigga is living happens to him and ain't doing nothing about it.
No, see, remember the question that you asked about the Bible when we were talking, right? So when David committed his sin, what did God tell him? When he slept with Bathsheba and sent her husband out and put him on the front line, what did God tell David?
I don't know what he told him.
Okay, so yeah, but you in the boat with me.
AR-15.
You in the boat with me though. We having a conversation. You in the boat with me, right?
I'm a comedian. I'm talking shit.
Okay, so say David was a black man, right? So God told him the sword will never leave your house, right? Sword will never leave your house. What does the sword never leaving your house mean? That means you're going to always be in constant battle, right? That ain't you necessarily in this moment right now, right? That's your people.
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
I get what you mean. But see, I'm saying, and I ain't saying what's life without war,
Mm-hmm.
but this kind of shit gotta happen.
Of course.
It's just, it happened to happen to us.
No,
But I don't think that
we-
Bible talk is gonna help a nigga do anything.
that's subjective.
I mean, it can help you understand, but
To me, the Bible is a script.
That's subjective, right?
It's a script.
So it's basic instruction before you leave Earth.
Somebody put that together. The 100-year
you
plan.
believe in heaven?
Yeah.
But why?
Because that's just a personal belief, right? There has to be something more than me.
But like, this is what. But why does it have to be?
What else would you have in alternative?
Saying I don't know what it is because I never met nobody else.
So when you
That's
die,
fine, but what else is what's your alternative?
living life how I can live it on earth,
That's fine, but what's your alternative when you die?
I'm dead.
Okay, so where's your soul going?
It's just like before you was alive. You don't know.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, so that's a belief, right?
But
No. Here's what I mean by that. Here's what I want to say this. When you are in your womb of your mom during pregnancy, right? You're living. You know you're living because you react to being hungry, you kicking, you moving. And then birth happens. To you, you go from living in an embryonic sac, breathing water or some sort of fluid, right?
Yeah.
And you're birthed, and that's taken from you, and now you're in a whole opposite of that.
Yeah.
So to the baby in the womb, you died.
But it's a whole.
Hold on. You died, boom. Your death was the birth of life. You didn't know that dying. You didn't know that getting pulled up out that motherfucker. They trying to kill me. My cord. Now you in the world. When you just so what if death is like that?
Okay.
As soon as you die, you become another version of existence. Pregnancy is life.
Yeah.
The minute you're born, that's death of pregnancy and the beginning of something totally different.
But that's a whole process of living people to create that.
That's it, but see, now you're getting into a chicken and egg argument. Which one comes first, right? And so you have to have some sort of belief, one way or the other.
But at least believe on something that you can see that's documented.
What's documented after death?
Nothing.
So then, how do you know?
Exactly. So don't believe in it
Why wouldn't I?
because you don't know for sure.
And it's
What do I know for
You
sure?
know for sure you have sex with a woman and you shoot an egg. The whole process that happened, even how they say abortion,
Okay.
the whole process is important.
You know what's about to happen, right?
That creates life. You know for a fact. You can say you for this bitch or for this. That happens.
Right.
So all the other stuff that's not happening that we are talking about, why are we standing on it?
Because again, right? Any belief that you have has a spiritual foundation.
It
Right.
should.
Whether or not, no, I'm finna say whether or not you believe in the Bible, you believe in the Quran, you believe in the Torah, you are Torah-y, right? Whatever the case may be, right? There's a belief behind it. Even if you're an atheist, right? An atheist motherfucker get in a car crash, the first thing he says, "Oh God."
That's me.
Right? That's the first thing the motherfucker say when some
God.
shit happens.
You say,
Oh God.
every time you
But
get
the only
scared.
reason I would say that is because I've been around that.
Yeah, I get that,
It's
right?
just a reflex action to that.
Right,
Like
but
Muslims
that's-
do that shit too.
Right, but that's still right.
Jesus.
And so that's your inherent proof, right, of God, right? Now, for various reasons, you may not be plugged in the way that you need to be, right? And so then that raises questions, and then you question, and if you're intelligent enough, right, you'll come up with an answer that satisfies you.
Okay, but really, when you do that, you fighting with yourself.
Correct. And so that's where you get the split. There's the schism.
It's all a fight with yourself.
Right.
If you was just say if you just how you say when you was a baby, you
Yes.
come out the womb,
Yep.
you just existed.
Right.
Your parents didn't have a Bible, they didn't have any religious document or anything. You would just live this life and just know what you know. And then when you read from somebody else.
Well,
Program.
there's always in any civilization, you can go down into the Amazon, right?
Yeah.
They're praying to something,
But
right? There's a belief of a God above them.
But not everybody's praying to him. Everybody got non-believers.
But
Right.
Even but them motherfuckers is 100. But I can see when they say an Indian back in the day was praying to the sun god or the tree. Why wouldn't you? That's how you eat.
And so
Clear.
that's the
But it wasn't as good of a prophet.
and so there's your
ain't no money in it.
well, for us it isn't, right? And so there's your initial thought process, right?
Yeah.
For people around the world, around the globe, right? There's always going to be a version of God, right? So a Chinese person or a Japanese person that don't speak your language, right, can still understand that there's something above him or her, right? And so that's where that comes from. So that's a faith sort of stepping out, right? I can't convince you. If a person is atheist, I can't convince you otherwise. The only thing I can do is give you what I
Atheist
believe.
means you don't give a damn about none of that shit y'all talk.
But the thing is,
So you ain't convincing this
I
nigga
heard
nothing.
they say this to a guy. He said it's over 1,000 religions. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in 1,000. If you're a Christian, you just don't believe in 999.
Well, that's not necessarily true either, right? See, I didn't say that I was a Christian.
not saying you
Yeah, I
were.
get what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. But for the purpose of the conversation, right? Let's say on the face of it, right, that we agree that there's a higher power. right?
Yeah.
Now, whether the Muslim is right or the Christian is right or the Catholic is right, you can debate the merits of that.
Or the suicide bomber, he might
Right.
be up there with 14 versions. Like, I
Right.
got mine.
Right.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. Now, how you say Sodom and Gomorrah, that comes attest to where a motherfucker can kill somebody and just out of fear. And I ain't even gonna say an evil entity or not, because when you kill something, you're supposed to eat. Like
Right.
a lion chasing a deer. A lion don't get up and pray to nobody. But when he eats this deer, it's not out of no malice or nothing. This is the echo chamber of life.
Right, but
A
the
motherfucking lion
Like
ain't
you
gotta
eating
do
that slice
no
of
but the
ritual,
lion
nothing
but
to
the
say.
lion also understands, right? Within that cycle, right? I'm not finna try to eat all the goddamn deer,
Yeah. Well,
right?
I'm seeing animals eat apart and leaving for other animals to come up.
Correct, right?
okay, so the evil part comes, I understand people are evil. People do evil.
Well, we're inherently sinful, correct?
But
Well, that's taught. Because like you said, you don't see lions walking around looking for other animals. Because every animal has their own proper defense mechanisms.
yeah.
So everybody, this is time to eat. I ain't fucking with none of these animals till it's time to eat.
People, the shit we doing is taking resources from each other. That's all that. That's what war.
Well, the Matrix told you. In the Matrix, they
that's how you
told you.
talk.
What did Smith tell Morpheus in the high-rise building?
I didn't watch it. Make
He told him like, "Shit, you a motherfucking virus,
oh fuck.
right?
Shit.
In theory, because you're the only quote unquote animal on this planet that just takes and doesn't really replenish,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
right? So to spin it forward, right? We've highlighted all that, right? That's part of this information, right? The whole however you view God, right? Because if I can split you up into let's say I split you up into 5,000 religions. That means that 4,909 of y'all probably are wrong. You're gonna argue over that. You're gonna fight over that, right? You're gonna fight over the holy land, quote unquote, right? All that, right? Now, spinning forward to the bully, right? Now we've highlighted World War I. We've highlighted World War II. We already know what happened in the American Revolution. We know how we came out of slavery, right? We've highlighted all that, right? So now we're spinning forward 2022. I don't like you motherfuckers.
Oh shit.
Right? But I can't just fight you straight up. Why can't I fight you straight up? Because you sons of bitches showed me in World War II that you would drop a fucking nuke.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
And if you drop a nuke, then I got to drop a nuke, then he got to drop a nuke. That means ain't none of us here at the end of it. Right? So I got to get you in a position of weakness. So again, how do I get the bully? Right? I've already got you with the disinformation. Right? I introduced the homosexuality to you in the 70s, right? And now it's metastasized into transgenderism, right? You're cool with the homosexuality, I got you with transgenderism, right? The next thing to come down the pipe in a couple of years is gonna be the Peter Pan.
The what?
The Peter Pan.
Fucking
Hold that
dog,
thought.
what they got?
Hold that thought. Let me call you back, I'm in the barbershop.
Oh, you gonna get your hair cut? You didn't cut my hair?
I got you tonight.
The hell? I gotta go around with the messy haircut? Okay.
Just for a couple more hours.
No problem.
All right.
Get your little funky little haircut.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Right? You weren't cool with the homosexuality at first, right? That's where all the terms come from, right? When we were kids, right? You just, if you thought a person was a faggot, right? That's what it was. That was acceptable when me and Kurt were growing up.
Right. You like, what the fuck are you doing? We're finna
Right.
beat out your ass.
Right.
Because now I'm of the world right now. Like,
Go ahead.
And I do comedy.
Right.
That you talking about is true, but that's still like how you say propaganda in the regular world, the people I interact with,
Right.
still don't fuck with that shit.
Oh no, that's true.
Because that's your
right?
circle.
That's true, right? On a larger scale, right? That's true. You ask the average person, they don't fuck with that, right? As a belief system, right? Only thing you do is tolerate, right? But what has happened in the process of tolerating? You've given the few a voice over the many, right? Because now, like you as a comedian, you can't get on the stage and just say, you know, I met a faggot the other day.
If I want to be a part of their entity.
Right. To start a joke, and you starting to joke off, right? You couldn't just say that.
That's what I can. The only way I can if I want to be attached to what's
Correct.
going on.
Correct, right? So that means that you are not you, but that means that system is ingrained, right? It makes you have a filter. Whereas me and Kurt grew up, there was no filter for that. It was what it was, right? The old.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna tell you what happened. See, back in the 80s when we was on the damn giant slide, they had about 7-8 coats of paint on that motherfucker. Yeah, they had about 7 coats of paint on that thing, and that paint being on there slows it down. And since it's been closed for so long, the weather has rusted it out. So what they did, they went up there and sanded all the paint off back down to stainless steel like the sliding boards in the hood. Because I guarantee you when they first opened up the giant slide, that thing was fast like that. But the rust came, so they just painted over it. So what y'all got to do is you got to put a couple coats of paint on that mug, and the thickness of the paint is going to slow that ride down. But when it's on them doggone sacks, and the sacks and the doggone stainless steel, slicker than ice. Now, they only gave you the sacks because the paint had got so thick that it was slowing down the ride. So that's when they gave y'all the sacks. Yeah, that's exactly how that shit happened. So yeah, they are going to eventually have to put a few coats of paint on there to slow it down. The more the paint, the slower that ride.
OGs in the neighborhood,
Thank
right?
you later.
There were certain things that they taught you, right? OGs in my neighborhood told you, hey boy, you get into a fight with a punk, you better know how to fight.
Right. That's the last fight you want to lose.
Right.
You do not want to be on the receiving end.
Plus it was accepted at that time that they also know how to fight.
I knew he was fucking that motherfucker.
Right? Right. And it was also accepted that they knew how to fight. Right? Because they getting jumped and everything else, right? So you spinning forward, right? Now we're in transgenderism, right? The next thing to come is going to be the pederasty or Peter Pan.
I said it was trying to bring that
Man-boy love. The story of Peter Pan is the story of Peter Pan is basically man-boy love.
Some man fell in love with his kid, like a doll.
Right? And so...
Hold ball. We will not be besmirching Michael Jackson. That boy came out and said it was a lie.
Okay, that's what they all do when they get a little money from up there.
No.
Or they say, we're going to kill your family.
Well, we've already established, right, that anybody...
Mike didn't touch them children.
Well, we already established that anybody that makes it to star power on your TV, right, is already a part of the program. Right?
Damn, I got to fuck somebody, man. I'm trying to be on TV.
That's how you get there, though.
Oh, man.
Right? That's the move, right? You have to compromise yourself, right?
Mike didn't fuck them kids, son. If you go out here telling the world that, son.
Ain't no reason a grown man hang with kids unless he's trying to help them learn.
Here's the problem. Here's the dichotomy that Michael Jackson's in, right? You're a child star, right? You've probably been initiated into the craft, right? He done been initiated, right? We know this, right? From all the TV shows he was on and the fact that he was on TV and he was such a big star for such a long time. Well, what kind of man are you growing up to be if you never were actually a child?
Very timid.
Right? You're gonna hold on to that. That's why a lot of men, right, so-called men, right, we'll say for the sake of our argument or our talk, so-called black men don't get past the age of 16, 17. Right? And so then you're 35 years old, but you're emotionally stunted. Right?
Yeah, it's well, that be because niggas be growing up listening to their mama.
Well,
50% of them niggas
but again, we just highlighted, right, through the Welfare Reform Act, right, taking the father out of the home, right. That's all part of their plan, right? Because what does that do? That breeds you to be mentally unstable, right?
But you know what's crazy? How we can have this conversation, right? And this shit keep happening.
Well, we're still going, right? We're still on the same boat,
It
right?
don't happen to the 5% that understand. It just gonna continue to happen to the 85%.
Right.
The 85 is what's gonna get shown.
I know niggas still in that trance. It's just by the grace of God. You see, and I'm just saying that.
Right.
Folks trying to figure some shit out that I ain't in that.
Well, one thing that we do know is that just for the sake of just for the sake of what we were talking about biblically, everybody ain't going to heaven.
Oh yeah. Shit, ain't that some shit? Boy, ain't that some shit, boy. And I think a lot of people believe in that just in case it's true.
And the Jehovah's Witnesses tell you they only got a few seats on the bus ride.
Right. And
Fuck
so,
with me, I got tickets,
And
nigga.
there's been a billion people on this earth.
Fuck with me, I got tickets, cuz.
right,
Ain't even win.
That's what they be trying to tell you when they come to the house. Nigga, you ain't got no ticket to that ride to heaven. And
right,
you gonna be stuck down here with the rest of these heathens.
right. And so, right, we spin it forward, right? We still on the boat. We still on the same bully boat, right? So what's happening in America right now? I got y'all, right, all in the disinformation. You don't trust the government, right? You don't trust your neighbor, right?
All you know your neighbor. Back in the day, you knew what your neighbor
Right.
did. You don't know what the nigga next door did to all day.
So the people arguing, right? Every time you get on Twitter, or I ain't gonna say, Twitter, yeah, but now that Mustang bought, it's gonna be a little bit different. But say like, just line it up for me, don't cut it off.
Cut what off?
The ragged ass beard.
I'm gonna keep that. But this is all been compromised.
You said it's been compromised.
Compromised. You better cut all that shit off but the goatee.
No, I didn't. You already started now. Yeah.
Compromised.
Damn.
I know that took a long time to get there.
Right, that's how I went in here. That's fucked up.
Yeah, you can't have a better beard than me.
Wow. Nah, I ain't got no beard, man.
That's fucked up. I was trying to make this thing go. Now I gotta wait another 6 months.
Has that been what this been?
Yeah. It's been a minute.
All right, so I'm about to lie. I'm about to slide. I gotta go do some things.
Okay.
That's it. I'm about to lie. All right, fellas, man.
Yeah,
Good
man.
talking to you, man.
Get that bottle of water in you, man.
I got it, man. I got it. You know, I sold my car, man. They sent me some paper. I ain't even have my car registered up there. They come out with some money.
Oh yeah, tax collector want his.
Yeah, he
That's
won't
the
hear.
same way. All the white boy wants. As soon as you
want a piece of- yeah, he want a piece.
you some money, another white boy.
You know we sent that boy that money out there.
That's how come I'm going to the city hall meeting and all, man. I ain't gonna let these type of two niggas laws and all that out. They telling me to vote for no money.
Well, they already told you the last election cycle, you ain't black if you don't vote for Biden.
You voted for Biden?
No, I ain't voting for this time. I ain't voting for the president. Because I didn't know the politics. I ain't gonna vote just for no grandma.
But they told you that though. They told your people that.
Man.
Yeah, they told your
I
people
got Herschel
that.
Walker sending me text messages, dog.
See, but I don't even get that.
How does nigga get my number?
All I get is Stacey Abrams shit, the whole neighborhood got time. I'm like, you niggas don't know nothing about this shit. Hey, man.
Yep.
Keep playing that game, Jack.
Yep.
Hey, even though I don't really, I do take heed to that, and I take it out, and it helped me on stage too.
Right.
So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
He don't fuck with none of that shit.
I mean, some people, you know, only thing you can do is the Bible tells you just give the information and you just wipe the dust off your feet and keep going.
Yeah, and you want to just accumulate the information so you can have it all for reference points when you see this shit unfold.
Right.
Okay, I remember that.
So as I was going, right? So what are you seeing now? You see the disinformation, right? But again, we're still talking about how you fuck the bully up, right? You see on your TikTok that your girl watch. All that shit is an algorithm controlled from China. All you get on the TikTok shit is bullshit.
Yeah, on this side of town.
Right? That's all you're gonna get, right? You ain't gonna get nothing really wholesome or nothing like that. You're gonna get a bunch of bullshit, right?
They filter that out.
Right, because that's what they want you to see, because that keeps you in the fold, right? That robs you of your strength, right?
Somebody mentioned that this is what we're going through our Holocaust through social media and self-degradation.
Right. So now, look at what has happened, right? The shit with Russia and the Ukraine, right? You didn't get pulled into a bullshit ass proxy war, right? I'm still trying to fuck the bully up though, right? So
You gotta fuck with they youngin'.
not even that, right? I already got them. We just highlighted TikTok and all the social media. I already got y'all. I got the
They
people.
little homie. Like, look, they little homie is anybody they invested in. Like, anybody where NATO fucking with them, that's the little homie.
Right, and so I got to pull you in on that, right? So now I done pulled you in on the Ukraine shit, right? So you done sent them all that money over there, right? The Japanese told you at the end of World War II what they were gonna do. They were never gonna fight you again straight up, right? They were just gonna buy everything up over here,
And they are.
Right. So
Damn.
now, I control your
They
land.
done bought a seat at the table in the government.
Right. I got that. Right. I'm not gonna let you talk about certain people in a certain kind of way. That's what you see with the Kanye West and the whole Jew thing. Right. The Jews control the media. Right. They dispense the information. Right. They want you to live like as Alex Haley roots, when really Alex Haley basically was a CIA operative. Right.
Alex Haley didn't even write that shit.
No.
White man said, put your name on this book so I'm gonna get these folk to buy it.
Right. So.
And they made us watch that shit every year.
Because that keeps you in subjugation mentally.
I didn't even know I was a slave until I started reading and watching Roots.
Right. So that keeps you in that mental subjugation, right? So now, got you in the proxy war, you done sent that money over there, right? You done went over there and you done fuck with the folks in the Middle East, right? For the last 30 years, you've been trying to get that oil, right? First you fucked with Saddam, right? So what did they tell you a couple of weeks ago? Well, shit, we ain't got no oil for you, right? Biden went over there about a week ago, secretly didn't tell nobody, begging for oil. Why? Because you're going to run out of that shit, right? And niggas need oil. White people over here need oil, right? But guess what? You've been the bully on the block. We don't fuck with you, right? You ain't paying attention to how many niggas don't fuck with you, right? It's Russia don't fuck with you. It's China don't fuck with you. The Middle East don't fuck with you, right? Meanwhile, right, we winning on all these other different fronts. China is now the economic power in the world.
They still in the country.
Right.
Low key, like they stole the oil industry.
Right.
They snuck in here, stole the oil industry, now they're gonna steal the goddamn country.
Right.
Because everywhere you look, they own that. They own this fucking building.
Right. And so, right, while the people are arguing, right, and they're caught in disinformation and all this other extra shit, right, your enemies, they mounting up against you, right? And at a certain point, you're not gonna be able to defend yourself. History is the chronicling of replacement.
Yeah. Say that again.
History is the chronicling of replacement.
The chronic lean?
Chronicling. Like writing down.
The chronicle lean.
Chronicling. CHRONICLE. Chronicle.
Okay.
Right? To ascribe, to write down, right? To tell stories. That's all history tells you. It tells you the next motherfucker that came along and how he came along and how he did it. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why they tell you that old proverb, you know, if you don't heed history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, right.
Right? And so that's where we're at right now, because we're not paying attention.
And, you know, it's not even that. They are getting hit with all the distractions.
Right.
Them distractions is fucking them all the way up. They ain't even paying attention to the signs. It's like, again, man, I see the shit. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Because I have a better vision of it. I've been studying, I've been reading. And I'm just intelligent, man. I think for myself. A lot of times, people's spirituality and intellect is governed by somebody that don't have them at their best interest. You know, have their best interest at hand. So you're really being led astray.
Correct.
You're being led down the wrong path. And if you don't look up, it'll be too late for you to recover and get back on track.
Correct.
And it's gonna compromise a whole lot of shit. You compromised your family thinking you was on the right track. They led you down the wrong track, thinking that the Welfare Reform Act was gonna help you in life. And what it did was destroy your family and the connection between your, you know, man and woman in our community. Mm-hmm. But, you know, they thought it was working for us. See, I got it. Look, I went and got it. Look what I got.
Right.
Look what I got. Yeah, look what you got. Mm-hmm. Look at what you got. Yes, for you went to college with me. We went to college together, baby. And I went off and tried to start this business, and you gave up on me and got the check. And you had to quit your college dream because you can't make no more than $17,000 to get it. So now you work in the Family Dollar mad at me because I can't fuck with you, but you put me out for this shit.
Right.
Because we can't even live together for you to get it.
Well, there's a reckoning coming for the so-called black woman anyway.
A reckoning?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because in any culture, women are only going to follow whoever's in power,
Right.
right? So the woman is just following who's in power, right? But there's a reckoning coming from her for straying from her man, right? Just like we talked about in the story, right? When the woman turned around, she turned into a pillar of salt. That was her reckoning, right? Because you didn't believe what God was saying.
So how do you think it's gonna hit this day of reckoning?
It could be a world war.
Because God totally, because here's what I believe. For the last few years, you know, women have been, because first of all, the women's lib was never a black woman's problem.
No.
Black man been just trying to survive with his family the whole time. But, you know, yeah, there's a few assholes, you know, that may make you think that you get malnourished on the right side of the game. But at the end of the day, the black man wants his family together.
Yeah, well, that's just the color purple bullshit trap, right? To make so-called black women think that every man is beating on them and cheating on them and shit, right? We know that to not be true, right? Statistics doesn't even bear that out when you look at it, right? The fact of the matter is, right, 80% of divorces in America, right, filed by the woman. The woman leaves, right? How do you get 7 billion people on the planet? You don't get that through complete and utter monogamy.
No. I mean, I think sometimes that the idea of marriage is something that was just thrown on top of us. Because did we get married back in ancient times?
Marriage was not what it is in today's sense. Marriage was just, okay, I got a daughter, you got a son, you got a
merging corporations.
You raise fucking pigs and cattle, and I got grain.
Period.
And we trying to grow this shit through the family. So I'm gonna give you my virgin daughter. You gonna give me your firstborn son.
You gonna keep this going, 'cause we both old.
Right. And it ain't about love, it's about duty, honor, respect. Right?
Period.
And y'all grow this shit and keep it going.
Now, I feel that way. I think a lot of people fuck up in the beginning of their life dealing with their insecurities and shit they go through and end up marrying out of love. Yeah, you can love the person you marry, but you have to marry somebody that's gonna, you know, compliment you in the future, or at least somebody on the way up, or you know, has some ambition. Because for a long time, it was said that women stop doing what they're supposed to do when they get married. I don't believe that. I believe a woman do what she's motivated to do. But, you know, having your understanding. Like I tell my son, I say, look, man, you can't pick no wife, man, until you know, you got this done. You need this shit before you go get a wife. Because I don't even want you out here in the dating game for real if you ain't got your life together, because that's how you get pregnant and have bad situations. Mm-hmm. Get your shit together, get this standard that I put out there for you, right? Then you go and you find a woman that's on a similar mission that got her shit together. She got something. Don't pick a chick for control purposes. If you ain't got shit, I got everything. You in my house, you shut the fuck up. No, don't do that.
Your woman is a reflection of you anyway.
Definitely. You want somebody that is just as much of a hustler as you, that can, you know what I'm saying, that can motivate you to be better. You know, almost like a corner man and a boxing man. You got him, don't worry about it. Today wasn't that good, but that's all right. Tomorrow gonna be better. You gonna get them that last. Work on this time. I'm watching you do your thing. I see it.
Yeah, but see, the problem is that this generation right? Because of the way they're being raised, they don't know how to be wives and men don't know how to be husbands.
Because they're not being raised by wives and husbands.
Correct.
They're being raised by baby mamas and baby daddies. And if you're being raised by a baby mama, how the fuck she gonna teach you how to do it? All she gonna teach you how to do is be a baby mama.
Right.
And she gonna take all of her, and, you know, and that's not a diss. It is the truth. Just like that white dough is gonna be black if you leave it in the oven too long. It's gonna be black. And it's all because you didn't use it right. And so, you know, if you ain't been raised by somebody that understands. First of all, if you know, a lot of times, you know, and people's childhood traumas lead them to situations that only cater to insecurity. It only caters to insecurity.
Well, see, that's all based out of the fact that she wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Right? I was telling my wife a story the other day, right? My father was telling me a story. He was barbecuing one time. I fell down the back stairs. I'm a baby. Right? The mama's first instinct is to do what? Oh, baby, right? And what happens? Then your son start crying and shit.
Yeah, now he's looking for that coddling.
Right. Whereas the father's gonna say, no, keep your ass up. You all right?
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're there for. Right? It's to build that manly confidence. Right? So I have to remove you from that. Right? Because again, we're talking about motherfuckers that have stolen and thieved their way to the position that they're in.
Right.
Right? So I have to remove you out of the situation because, again, we've already chronicled, there's nothing on this earth stronger than the black man.
So,
or so-called black man. Because that's just a corporate designation.
Everybody's been malnourished in this shit, and if you expect to be better, you got to put in some sort of intellectual work.
Correct.
You got to read. It's like if you don't know the answer to something, like if you want to be a better parent, if you want to be a better husband, a better wife, it may require a book. The book ain't gonna tell you what to do, but the book is gonna help you understand what you're doing.
Right, but see, the problem is that when I remove structure, right, then I can state-sponsored teach you.
State-sponsored teach.
And so when I'm doing that, I can remove books,
and
right?
I can add books.
Right. And so my wife deals with people all the time that, have you ever heard of a motherfucker that can't sign his name? That can't write in cursive? Right? That's foreign to you because you grew up with that and you knew how to write in cursive by the 3rd grade.
That's right.
Right? Your kids right now, if you ain't teaching them that, they don't know how to write in cursive.
They won't ever. It's like if you don't bring, because again, I think that is also part of the generation that was skipped. Because the things that we learned in the 80s don't even get taught.
Correct.
You know, we should be in class and we should have to sing the Black National Anthem.
Right.
My country,
right.
tis
right.
the free land of liberty.
But I got to remove all of that. The same as I remove God out of creation. Right? I remove God out of the equation. Right?
Detroit was strong with that shit in the 80s because it was up against a major crack epidemic. It was like we have to have some combative ways to prepare these children to go out here and deal with crack society.
Well, not only that, but the Constitution in and of itself was written with biblical principles, right, and tendencies, right, by imperfect people, right? That's why we had to go back and try to change it on the fly now, right? Because man is imperfect, just in a general sense.
You have a good workout at the gym,
right?
You come up out of there with a positive feeling of a great accomplishment and great workout. Now, you want to have a positive outlook and get you something healthy to eat, man. And this is when it's
Sam. Look here, Woody. Come on over here, holler at your boy, Woody. Yes, baby. Yes, sir. You know you want some of this. You didn't get out the gym. Come on, want some of this fresh Arby's. Only think about it, think you deserve it. You can work your over here to Arby's. Get on, got something for you.
Welcome to Firehouse. All right, come on.
Let's
in.
do some No quiero Taco Bell. No quiero Taco Bell. No quiero Taco Bell. No quiero Taco Bell.
Welcome to Chick-fil-A. Well, welcome to Chick-fil-A, where we take your order in line before you can get to look at the menu. Come to Chick-fil-A, we'll be annoyingly happy for you.
Chipotle.
You can get you some Chipotle, but I ain't bad. Go get some of that Chipotle.
Now you want some crisp? Come get you some of these crisp chicken. Can I take an order? Cheddar chili fries.
My friend, welcome to Subway.
Don't worry about it.
Your everyday, day-to-day life. That don't mean that you're not gonna fuck up every day in your everyday life.
Right. Fucking up is part of living. If you live in a life and you ain't making no mistakes, are you really testing your existence?
Right. And so the question is, are you not only testing your existence, but are you honest with your existence in the fact that I do fuck up? Right? And am I man enough to be like, yo, Kurt, I'm sorry. I fucked up. My
That may
bad.
be the lesson you need for the day.
Right.
To be able to do that, because sometimes, my lesson is a lot, is refraining from saying some of the stuff that comes across my mental, like, yo, I can't respond like that.
Right. It's just like when I walked in and you were talking about the basketball, right?
Yeah.
If you just reacted in the base level manner of how you wanted to react in the moment, we may not be having this conversation, right? Because you would have went off the handle on some shit.
Right, yeah. Because, right, exactly. You playing basketball. Why you so, man, I done been fouled 7 times by this little nigga.
Right, right.
Every now, if I shrug my shoulders, he gonna fall all over the place.
Right. And so the problem is that we haven't been taught how to regulate.
Proper conflict resolution, that's all.
Correct. And then that gets heightened.
The reason why, because it's not even that. We've been taught.
No, you haven't, because that's been heightened because you grew up in a baby mama household. So everything is emotion.
Well, everything the way we've been taught is by the police beating the shit out of niggas. Police beating the shit out of niggas. That's what you think the answer is to everything. That's what they do.
Well, that's just part of the disinformation. That's just to keep you in a bondage state. Right? Because again, we're basing this whole conversation around the fact that you are the chosen people. Right? So I have to do whatever is at my disposal to keep you underhand.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got to give you the disinformation. I have to put the police state over you. I have to put drugs into the neighborhood, guns into the neighborhood.
We have to publicly crucify
all
anybody that brings information that could help you understand.
All the way.
We didn't get now. You get these big ass checks. That's hush money.
Right.
We done gave you money. Whenever they look at people like Kyrie and Kanye and tell them to shut the fuck up, it's like, nigga, we let y'all get rich. Now be quiet. That's one of the things you got.
And that's the reason why.
1 o'clock?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right with you.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
All right.
And that's why you see a Kyrie when they tell the truth, because they told the truth.
I mean, they didn't say anything wrong.
No.
I mean, they weren't even disrespectful.
Well, I mean, let's just consider the merits of what Kyrie's talking about, right? Let's just consider the merits of the situation.
Yeah.
Right? You say it's anti-Semitic. My question to you would be, then why the fuck is it on Amazon? If it's that bad, why is it public information?
The dudes, what's the name of that? Somebody called it a behavioral thing when it's I'm gonna look it up because I just recorded this yesterday. He said it when you attack, like if you say something real, and instead of attacking what you say, we attack you.
Right.
What's that called? I'm gonna post that in this video right about now. But I got it because my man was talking about it on his show, and he was like, "We do that, and this is what happens in our society where they don't have to. They are going all the way in on Kyrie and Kanye.
Well, it's sort of like,
but they ain't talking about what they talking about. They just mad that they said it.
Right. Well,
this is why they taking critical race theory out of school and shit.
But it's sort of like that. Well, critical, it shouldn't be in there anyway. Right.
Right. It shouldn't.
But it's sort of like that Bell's theory, right? Or of I keep my dog in the kennel, right? I let him out, right? Or that captor mentality. I have you kidnapped and I've held you for so long that you begin to love me because you don't know nothing else,
Hell yeah.
right? And so that's what has happened for us, right? But the problem is that that you inherently see because you are chosen people. Again, all y'all not going.
Everybody ain't going.
Right? So let's just accept that fact right there. When I was growing up on the south side of Chicago, 59th Street, the nigga that was selling dope, shooting guns and shit like that, and gang banging and shit, when he got killed, 9 times out of 10, that nigga going to hell. Right? There's no need to be in the pulpit lying about
Crying about this nigga.
Right, and you know where he going. That's that
terrorist.
disinformation, right? Because then that breeds like a brother. Like this is what I say with them. I'm atheist because I'm looking at all these motherfuckers that's doing wrong. And when something happens, y'all embrace as if he was out here selling Bibles and Qurans.
Right.
That ain't what he was pushing.
No, it's not.
Right? So we have to be honest in our discourse in a spiritual manner. Right? Where you at? And so now, right, you're still the chosen people. So no matter what happens, God got you. Right? But some of you are going to be so debased and so moved off your square, right, that you're going to touch the hellfire. That's just going to happen.
And see, I look at the Bible, you know, somebody wrote that, because ain't nobody in the Bible have a Bible, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not, I mean, if they know that this is going to happen, but it hasn't happened, you know what I'm saying? I get it. I believe that life is about being a good person and balance.
Mm-hmm. It's just like that symbol right there, right? You go high enough in them degrees, right? You're going to find out who's the master of that. That's the devil.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Most of the people you see on TV, things of that nature,
they started off right at the bottom, yeah.
Right. And once you get up high enough, right, those rituals that are performed, that's going to take you over that gateway.
I saw Jack the Ripper.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I know about it, and I've read enough. And again, my exploration and my fraternal aspirations were definitely to help mentor me out of some juvenile intellectual spaces.
Right. That's understood.
And once you grow in life, you know, you see things for what they were. But I believe in getting as much information and understanding about things to eliminate the closed-mindedness.
You should.
Of things. And then once you get the understanding of everything, you create your own salad with that.
Well,
your own intellectual salad with that.
Well, that's 3 things you should be doing every day.
All day.
1, you should be having a very hearty, good laugh.
All day.
Every day. 2, you should be so moved within your emotions that it brings you to tears.
Definitely.
And number 3, you should have deep thought on whatever subject it is, but you should have deep thought. If you're doing those 3 things a day, then you'll balance the world out around you.
And
right?
I do that for the most part every day. I get all that in. And on that note, that's a good piece of game for you. So say that one more time, man. Say that the top 3 things you got to do. If you got to laugh.
You got to heartily laugh. Your real laugh. Your real laugh.
Laugh to tears. That's what I do.
Your real laugh. Emotions that move you to tears.
Yeah.
That could be the loss of someone. That could just be what's going on in the world. That could just be whatever you're seeing.
Something you care that much about.
That it brings that type of emotion out of you.
Yeah. And the other one?
And the last is you should think deeply.
Engage in some sort of deep intellectual thought, or just deep thought, period. Exercising that muscle.
Right. Because when you don't exercise it, you lose it.
So since we didn't get a proper introduction, because we was in mid-conversation when it started, this is my man Q. He's a trucker, right?
Yeah.
Is that a disgraceful way to call you?
No. This is
my
what I do.
He's a trucker. He's an independent contractor in the trucking game, and he got a lot of game on. He does a lot of reading, and he gathers a lot of information. And one of the people I enjoy kicking it with when I come to the shop, because, you know, steel sharpens steel. You know what I'm saying? So this has been another episode of Game Time. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. My man, it's gonna be another one. We'll see him again. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't forget to come again. Peace.
That's not a hand signal you need to be throwing up. You know what that actually means?
We're gonna take it back. This is the piece.
Right. When you throw this hand sign up, you see a lot of superstars do that, right?
I see that.
Right? That's androgynous, right? Or that's the promotion of the male and the female principle. What does that mean? One finger goes in the vagina, one finger goes in the anus. You go both ways. That's what that means.
Well, when I use my fingers, I do be doing two in the
I
pink
get that.
and one in the stink.
I get that, but that's what that means.
So I should do this one?
You could, but
this is the peace sign though. Yeah, so
right.
So peace with that. But I'm gonna keep that in there because that's good information for everybody that's still throwing up these weak ass deuces. I get the deuce sign because it represents the culture we came from as kids. Peace in the Middle Ages.
Right.
We used to say peace back in the 90s. I'm still that. I say I'm hip, but
every day we lose 22 veterans to suicide.
I've seen brothers do that. I understand that, but
it's a big problem in our community.
When people do this right here,
sometimes these guys don't have people to talk to.
I ain't in no gang,
people
but
to
you
go
see
to when they have
1,
questions,
2, 12,
and it's
so
kind of difficult coming back out here. Trying to survive and be a part of society.
Like that.
So to commemorate that, the veterans do 22 push-ups for 22 days straight to show our support. We thank you for the support that you have given the troops. And we ask that you continue to support our troops and, be kind to a vet today. You know what I'm saying?
There's running out of shit to do here, dog.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving you some game right there. That's what that means. So when you see your favorite star throwing that up,
it's just game on top of game, man. Take that with you, man. Sagging is fagging, man. Pull your fucking pants up.
That's true.
I don't want to see your fucking drawers out in public, B. I don't want to see your fucking drawers out in public, B. That's some whack ass shit. Pull your fucking pants up. If I smack you upside your fucking head, then you gonna think I'm trying to be mean. Pull your fucking pants up.
Every day we lose a veteran. We lose 22 veterans to suicide. And it's difficult transferring from the military into civilian life. And, to show our support as veterans, we do 22 push-ups for 22 days in commemoration of the people that we lost to suicide. Thank you for the support that you provided for the troops in the past, and we ask that you continue to show that same support and be nice to a vet today as we remember the ones that couldn't make it. Thanks.
You ain't getting no back, boy, you oughta be ashamed. You ain't tryna double up, we ain't on the same page. I got hoes tryna fuck, and some tryna set the play. Keep pose on top for niggas tryna test they faith. All the stake and loss, it got me feeling out of shape. I balance it out by getting off weight. Niggas bound to fall out if we talking about pay. You better find a route if you tryna paper chase. I'm all about my Benjamins, Reggie Wright. I done had to deal with too many bookers in my life. That's why nowadays I gotta keep my circle tight. I hate to have to pop another nigga tryna slide. Head on the swivel, shit could get critical. When you out here, you gotta move like you invisible. Move like a boss, don't let no pussy shit tickle you. Switch it up too, don't come off that predictable. Pimpin' ain't dead, bitch, I'm living proof. Louis robe on, counting bands in my living room. Tryna get this dope gone, that's the only thing to do. My fiend tryna hit the sauce and ask me to bring it through. Look at what we made it through, still making major moves. Real niggas fuck with me because my shit relatable. Fairy tale rap, get no plays in my vehicle. Capping like that on the track should be criminal. SGMG on the general. Keep all that lame shit to a minimum. You supposed to stack it up first before you spin it, fool. He blew it all anyway, that was typical. I love the ball, but I don't play no sports. OG, baby, you ain't dealing with a dork. Don't pull up short, make sure you got it all. You know I'ma score, we tryna win it all. Gold trophies run our necks, I don't want it for the flex. But to show these pussy niggas I ain't settling for less. Check, got the fucking check, counting money feel like sex. Gotta be a real nigga tryna earn my respect. You see me getting mines, need to get it back too. Lemon butter lobster tail with cried raccoons. Wash it down with champagne, then it's back to the loot. Ride with a G, I can show you what that money do. Penthouse suite, she in love with the view. Sip too much clique, I be feeling immune. Finna turn it up, put Patron in the view. If you tryna live this life, gotta know how to move. You ain't getting no bag, boy, you oughta be ashamed. You ain't tryna double up, we ain't on the same page. I got hoes tryna fuck, and some tryna set the play. Keep pose on tough for niggas tryna test they faith. All the steak and lobster got me feeling out of shape. I balance it out by getting off weight. Niggas bound to fall out if we talking about pay. You better find a route if you tryna paper chase.